Hello, my name is Doug and welcome to ICE's Thought for the Week. So, my question for you this week is, what kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be the kind of person who helps people? Who changes the world a little bit? Maybe your world, maybe your life, your family life, maybe this city at Exeter, maybe the whole UK, maybe the whole world. Maybe your life, you're just like, I want to be the kind of person who really makes a difference. And if that's you, me too. That's the kind of person I want to be. That's the kind of person I try to be. And if this is the kind of person you want to be, this is the kind of thing you want to do with your life, then a great place to start is by being humble. Nelson Mandela, who led the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa and became the country's first black president, he once said, "The first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself. Great peacemakers are all people of integrity, of honesty and humility." Being humble is about treating other people better. It's about saying, this person's happiness is really important, and therefore I'm going to sacrifice some of my happiness so that that person can be happy. And as we practice humility, we start to become more humble people. Just in the same way that if you practice something for 10,000 hours, you get really good at it. If you practice humility for 10,000 hours, you get really good at it. So as we practice humility, we become the kind of people who, when given the opportunity, will help people. Because that's what we've trained ourselves to do. The difficulty is that our pride so often gets in the way. Part of being humble is about admitting when you're wrong. It's about owning up to your own mistakes. And it's about congratulating others when perhaps they even beat you in a game. And having too much pride is destructive. And maybe you've seen that in your life. I mean, I certainly have. I used to play a lot of sports back in uni, played loads of football tournaments. And after each game, no matter if we won or lost, we'd say well played and good game to the opposition. It's just what you do. It's called good sportsmanship, but it's also part of being humble. It's about acknowledging that the other team played better than you in defeat, or about being humble and gracious in victory. Now, one of the teams we played against in this tournament was one of the most violent and aggressive teams I've ever played against, and in the end we thrashed them. But at the end of the game, they just stormed off the field. They refused to shake anyone's hands. And two of our teammates weren't happy about this. They wanted to practice humility. And so they went over to this team who were pretty much in an argument shouting at each other. And they said, well played, good game. And they made sure they shook all their hands. They believed that this was a really important thing to do. And so they made sure they did it. In that scenario, we have people who are trying to be humble, and we have people who are so full of pride that they almost can't. Now, which of those was easier? It was definitely easier to storm off the field in that situation. And it was a lot harder to go after them and say well played. But I think we all know what the right thing to do was as well. Now, I'm a Christian, and therefore my main role model in life is Jesus. Jesus talked all the time about the importance of being humble, but he also practiced humility. There's one occasion where Jesus was announced as king, and he's kind of coming into Jerusalem, the capital city of the place he was, and he's coming in to say, I am the king. Now, when kings do this, they come in one of two ways. They either come on a war horse with a whole army around them, and they come in to dominate. They come to say, this is my city now. I am the king now. You will do as I say. But Jesus doesn't take that option. He takes the other option. He rides in on a donkey. He rides in humbly. What he's saying is, my kingdom is a kingdom of peace. It's a kingdom of love, and a kingdom of humility. When my king is humble, that challenges me to be humble as well. So this week, I would love you to practice humility. Practicing humility is important, because if we want to be the kind of people who help people in the future, we need to practice humility so we become that person. Or if you just don't want to be a proud person in the future, then we need to practice humility so we don't end up like that. Whatever the choice, I want you to practice humility this week. That's all for this week. See you next time. Bye.